everyone, welcome to Real Deal Fishing. My name is Joshua Deal, and this is my first YouTube video. If you're watching this, first things first, thank you. I really appreciate the support and the time that you're giving this video. I'm very thankful for that. Now, my first video, which was actually in production starting 2 weeks ago, hasn't been cut and released yet, and it's probably going to have to go through some editing because I was trying to get it fancified and ready to go and ready for big stream when all of a sudden I went to a tournament and was fortunate enough to win a tournament, a kayak fishing tournament against a great group of regional guys from 2 different clubs, and I'm very, very thankful and fortunate from that experience. And as a way of giving back, I'd like to talk a little bit about my winning ways from that tournament, and I hope you guys find this information intuitive and useful. So let me get started. For pre-fishing, I got out the day prior and was able to pre-fish on the Ocmulgee. I've never fished the Ocmulgee River in my life. And in that experience, I caught fish in pre-fishing on basically anything I picked up and threw. I'm a big finesse fisherman. So I threw a lot of finesse baits, different worms, Ned rig, wacky rig, etc. I even threw the crankbait because I do love to pick up the crankbait every now and then. But one thing I noticed in pre-fishing was bottom contact was key. And as I discussed, or tell you a little bit about my tournament day, I think you're going to see more of that. It wasn't so much the bait selection as much as it was the bottom contact. And so let's jump into tournament day. When I got out to tournament day, I got out there and there was far more kayaks in the water than I expected. I haven't fished that many kayak tournaments, live kayak tournaments, and so it was different seeing all the personnel launching from the same ramp at the same time and essentially fishing the same series of water. Given the compact nature, I knew that there was going to be extensive pressure on the fish, and the fish were, I wouldn't say have lockjaw, but were going to be a little bit different to catch. And things that I had learned in pre-fishing may or may not work consistently. So I went out, first thing I did was distance myself from everyone else. Try to get as far away from as many people as I possibly could to fish water before everything started to get, before things started to get hot outside and the fish started to slow down. So I made a run about 3/4 of a mile down the river and got set up, got postured. When the tournament kicked off and lines were put in, I fished around a little bit following the shallow water presentation that I was doing in pre-fishing. Needless to say, I didn't get bit once doing that presentation. I watched one of my competitors catch a 16-inch fish on a topwater whopper plopper. However, I did not have any of that success myself. After about a half hour or 45 minutes of meddling around, I decided to go check this 10-foot hole that I had found in pre-fishing. I did catch a fish out of that hole in pre-fishing, but I didn't think too much of it. I just knew that just like everywhere else in the fishery, when the bait was hitting the bottom, I was getting bit. So I threw my presentation up into this hole, and the second it hit the bottom, this fish laid into it. It was an 18 3/4 inch shoal bass. It was my 3rd or 4th shoal bass in 2 days, and this is my first time ever catching shoal bass. So 18 3/4 inches automatically made it a personal best. Very, very thankful for that fish. Very impressed with the fight that it put up. Had a blast. Now, after that fish, I continued to fish that technique. I stayed in deeper water. Many guys work the banks. I chose not to. I knew that I was finding fish in deeper water and consistently was ended up finding bigger fish in deeper water. Of the 5 fish that I brought to lengthen, 4 of those 5 fish came from 10 foot of water or deeper. The other fish that I had that was on my lengthen was actually from behind a shoal and was all of maybe 13.75 inches. I don't remember how to go get the photo for that one, but it's irrelevant. The long story short here is that bottom contact in deep water was the difference maker for me. Now, bring that into the gear segment. It didn't really matter to me whether I threw a wacky rig or a Texas rig or a drop shot. Everything that I was getting bit on was bit on bottom contact. And the key to that bottom contact was the ability to feel that contact. I noticed during the fishing, especially on tournament day, that the fish, especially the shoal bass, would bite really, really quickly after bottom contact. And when they realized that they had something that wasn't real, they were spitting it right back out. And so I had some failed hook sets throughout the course of the day. With that said, thanks to my ALX Zolo Maestro, which I have here, this rod was the workhorse for me through the course of the event. I caught the majority of my fish, 98% of the fish that I caught on tournament day, on this rod. Now, why this rod is important is because of its ability, my ability with it, to feel the bottom contact, to feel the fish bite the bait, and feel the fish spit it out. Knowing this helped me hook more fish and put more fish in the boat. So what I would do is I would throw my bait out into 8 and 10 foot holes, whether it be around trees, whether it be around rocks, changes in points or changes in the channel, and basically let that sink all the way to the bottom. Once it got to the bottom, if it didn't get bit on first contact hitting the bottom, I would jig it once or twice and pull it up off the bottom and make it thump on the bottom again. And when it would thump on the bottom, that's when I would feel the bite from the fish, whether it be a shoal, whether it be a spot, whether it be a largemouth. That bump, that moment in time where that I made bottom contact was the difference maker. And so I basically did that throughout the course of my day. Throw it out to a spot, let it sink to the bottom, 8 to 10 foot deep, jig it a couple times. If I didn't get bit, I wasn't getting bit in that spot. Basically reel it up, throw it to another spot similar to it, and keep pushing forward. So again, I caught 4 of my 5 fish, very much thanks to my ALX Zolo Maestro, being able to feel that bottom contact. As far as colors and whatnot were concerned, colors didn't seem to matter much as long as they were dark. Green pumpkin, molten craw, watermelon, June bug, all of that stuff the fish were eating. It wasn't so much a color choice as much as it was a contact issue. And the contact made all the difference. And so I'm thankful for the experience. I'm thankful for the opportunity to fish with this great group of individuals. And I look forward to doing more of it. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please follow my channel. I do plan on putting out some fishing videos in the future, tips, tricks, underwater mechanics, stuff like that. Maybe my thoughts on what the fish are thinking, we'll see. And hopefully other great content that you'll enjoy over time. Thank you so much. Like I said, please like, follow, and share. If there's anything you need from me, please post it in the comments below, and I'll try and help you out in the best way I can. Until next time, keep it real. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.